Hello, this is Wmpyr. All right, so today I want to talk about dirty boxing. Dirty boxing is seems pretty popular. Like people like the name, and people think it's pretty cool. And I there might be people that want to add it to their arsenal. They want to study it, or they want to make that their main self defense program or whatever. So I want to shed some light and help people understand what the heck it really is. So if you just take the words literally, dirty boxing, I mean, it just sounds like boxing with no limitations, right? Like boxing with plus illegal moves. And if you look at it that way, like for example, if some boxers, some professional boxers, even like Mike Tyson, when he bit Holyfield on the ear, he used biting. Or if he throws a hook and then he, sneaks that elbow in, that's dirty boxing, right? That's boxing with illegal moves. Or there are, sometimes they sneak in a headbutt in there on purpose, right? That's dirty boxing. But I don't see a problem with that. I agree. That is dirty boxing, right? And then also there's another one in MMA, in the UFC. It used to be back in the day, Randy Couture's name was almost synonymous with dirty boxing. If you say Randy Couture, that's dirty boxing. Or you said dirty boxing, that's Randy Couture. He was a specialist at it. And what he was doing was it was boxing. So he was throwing punches in the clinch. So his bread and butter was the tie-up. Like in wrestling, in amateur wrestling, you're in the clinch. You got underhooks, single underhook, overhook, or double underhooks or whatever. So from there, he was really good at mixing in those punches, and he'd press you up against the cage and deplete your stamina. He was kind of like the forefather of that, and they called it dirty boxing. Now, interesting to note is before that, when he became champion, he fought in Japan, and in that match, it was against Maurice Smith, who was the champion before him. And in it, he was training in Jeet Kune Do. He was cross-training in Jeet Kune Do. I think he was a boxer in the military, and then he was also a wrestler, wrestling being his forte, but he was also a boxer. But he was going up against Maurice Smith, who was a legendary kickboxer here in the States. So he was like, I need a little bit more than just my boxing skills in the stand-up against this guy. So I guess that's why he went to a Jeet Kune Do person, and I don't know who it was, but he cross-trained in Jeet Kune Do. And when he did, he was using like destructions and stuff, with the elbow destructions. And I thought that was really cool. So he does have some Jeet Kune Do background, and then he became known as the dirty boxing guy. I wonder if there's a connection there. I don't know. Got to ask the guy. But to me, I don't think it's a coincidence necessarily. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is when we're talking about dirty boxing, boxing plus illegal moves, anyone can do. Okay, as long as you're doing proper boxing, like you're actually not pretending to be boxing, but you are, actually going to a boxing gym, actually training. You're doing all the road work, training with the medicine ball, jump rope, all that stuff, right? But what we're talking about here is panantukan, Filipino dirty boxing. So if you want to learn that, it might be difficult to find a place to learn Filipino dirty boxing. And so how do we get there? Okay. And I just want to help shed some light there. So in my opinion, the way to do it properly is, first of all, go learn boxing as much as you can, as close as possible to like aiming for a pro. I'm not saying become a pro, because not all of us can, but you want to make your training as legit as possible. So aim for what they do. Like, you got to go running. You got to do the sparring. You got to do all the different bags, the speed bag, the reflex bag, the heavy bag, all of that, the mitt work, so as much as possible experience what a real professional boxer does, and you want to head in that direction as much as you can. That's all I'm saying. Just try to be as legit as you can, okay? And if you're not, then you know where you're at. If all you do is, just shadow box, then you know you're not even close. And I mean, that's fine. Just don't lie about it and don't kid yourself about it. But, so for you to call yourself a boxer at that point and all you've done really is mostly just shadow boxing, hey, don't you think you're overstepping some boundaries? Okay, that's an insult to a real boxer, So that's all I'm saying. Make your boxing as legit as possible. That's number one. Number two is make your Filipino martial arts training as legit as possible. You need that. You need the Kali, Escrima, Arnis, and then real boxing. So you need real Kia, real boxing, and then you put it together. Then you get Filipino dirty boxing, in my opinion. That's, to me, the best way to go about. That, to me, is a proper way to do it. And that's my opinion, and that's the way that I did it. Okay, so and look, don't get me wrong. I don't want to say I'm even close to a pro boxer. I'm not. But to this day, I'm long retired, but I'm still doing road work. Like yesterday I went running. I wanted to also climb the stairs, but I just didn't have the stamina to do it. I'm just, at 49 years old, going to be 50 this year, just not at that. Just not at that. I'm aiming for it. I want to get to where I can, and the jump rope and all that. So all I'm saying is make sure you do that as much as you can. And the techniques, okay, to me, you have to understand that what I see with a lot of dirty boxing, like you look it up on YouTube, and you're going to see boxing punches, so jab, cross, hook, overhand, right, uppercut. That's the kind of moves that you're seeing, plus like a destruction elbow, right? Where does the destruction elbow come from? Well, it comes from Filipino martial arts. It's our empty hand skill. It comes from this, using a destruction like that. That is a gunting, a scissor motion. It comes from the sticks. The sticks, originally, that's the sword, a one-handed sword. So you're parrying their attack and you're cutting them on the arm, which is defang the snake. When you do that empty-handed, it becomes a destruction. So that's the origin. So to me, what that tells me is that the techniques you want to be mixing in with the boxing skill is the Filipino skills. And there's a lot more than just this, okay? Like I said, I even showed you guys just now, a horizontal elbow. There's a lot more than that, okay? So what we're doing, for example, is like the angles of attack. It's basic stuff that we do with the sticks, with the knife. So those are cutting angles. You could cut angles with the jab. So instead of just throwing your boxing jab like this, where you're just turn boom, 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 like that, you can jab like so. Now I'm cutting. So boom, from this angle, from that angle, from side, this horizontal, and then straight down. So you could start putting in stuff like that. There's other techniques like the double arm swing, which we normally do with double sticks. So this motion right here, this leads, to me, is a direct connection to Mayweather's Philly shell. When you're covering up, you could start including Heaven 6 motions, which I've broken down on my channel many times and explained about that. Instead of just covering up, now you can cut with the forearm as you're covering up. So that comes from Heaven 6, which is a staple Filipino martial arts technique. So I'm just saying there's a lot more to Filipino dirty boxing, and if that's what you want to do, you could start going into all the techniques that we do in Filipino martial arts and start applying it to the world of boxing in full contact, without weapons, empty hands, And once again, for me, that's the way that I did it. It made a whole lot of sense to me, and it will make your Filipino martial arts skills better, and it will also make your boxing skills better, in my opinion. So it's two birds with one stone type of situation. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. That's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.